Hello, hi, merhaba. Welcome to Byte and Byte Academy. My name is Xhesila, and as you can tell, I'm not Turkish. So I'm here to give you a bit of my experience as a foreign student in Istanbul Technical University. To introduce a little bit myself, I am Albanian, and I ended up in ITU as a result of a scholarship that was awarded to me by the Albanian government after the end of my high school. I did both bachelor's and master's in Istanbul Technical University, a bachelor's in electronics and communication engineering, and a master's in electronics engineering. I then proceeded my academic journey by doing a doctorate, a PhD, in microelectronics and systems in the University of Montpellier, France. And now I am waiting to start working as a design for test engineer in Apple Munich. How I ended up in microelectronics? Well, to be frank, I didn't know much about microelectronics after I finished my high school. It's not a subject that is really talked about in high school, or also I didn't have a lot of people around me who were electronics engineers, so I didn't know much about it. I knew that I wanted to do something that was related to math and physics, so after searching a little bit, I became curious on how our electronic devices worked, not only in the software point of view, but also what was going on the hardware behind it. So I thought that electronics would be the way to go. Also because I cannot deny that it was also because many people were saying that it was a strategic decision when it comes to career because of the job opportunities. Both computer science and electronics were really sought after at the time. So I said, okay, why not? Let's go for it. And this is how I ended up in electronics and communication engineering. In ITU, once you are in this department, you will have classes in both electronics and communication for the first 2 years. And then in the following 2 years, the last ones, there are more elective classes. So if you prefer to be more specialized in electronics, you can choose more electronics related classes, or if not, you can choose more communication related classes. In my case, I was into electronics, so I continued on the electronics path. This is why I also did a master's in electronics engineering. And then after that, I proceeded with a PhD, because during my master's and also end of bachelor's, I had already started working in the VLSI lab, very large scale integrated circuit lab in EB in ITU. So I got introduced to the world of research quite early. During my master's, I had already published some papers. I really liked being in research. I liked learning all the new stuff that, well, you don't get to learn through the classes only, because classes are usually based on fundamentals and books that are the core of electronics. But through papers and research, you get to learn more about what is happening in real time and with the technologies, and which were advancing and are advancing quite fast. So this is a great opportunity that ITU can give to you by allowing you to do research as well through these labs. And there are many other labs as well, so and many professors that you can work with. And that was really helpful for the beginning of my research journey in France, because I had already learned how to read papers, I had already learned how to write papers, so the transition was quite smooth. And if I were to give an advice to people who want to follow the same path, like after bachelor's or master's, to follow the PhD path, I would say that it's really important, of course, to research the topic that you're going to work on, because most of the grants for PhDs in electronics are given beforehand, so you have an idea on what you're going to work on. But also something really important is to research well the team that you're going to work with, and how to talk with the advisors and that are going to follow your research, how much time they will have for you, how communicative they will be. You can understand these maybe through some meetings, because these are the part of the research that you cannot really control. So it's good to have an idea beforehand. And afterwards, research can go in many ways. Sometimes you will have results, sometimes not. That's something that you cannot know from the beginning. So anyway, to go back to being a foreign student in ITU, I think for me it has been a challenging experience, but also very beautiful and rewarding. As a foreign student, ITU is quite prepared to host foreigners, because They offer 100 classes 100% in English, and also classes to learn Turkish, because as much as the classes are in English, it's really important and it helps a lot to know Turkish. Yeah, I think there are also clubs for foreign students that also helps to socialize. As a foreign student, I never felt that, without Turkish, I cannot learn or I cannot, follow my classes or so. Yeah, there were difficult times, but compared to the whole experience of it, I think it has been easy in the sense of being a foreigner and not knowing Turkish. And for some closing remarks, I would say that if you're in high school and if you're interested in microelectronics, I think you should definitely go for it if you're curious and interested, because it can be a bit hard in the beginning. I think it is worth it. There are many things to learn. ITU gives a very good fundamentals in the field of electronics, which is vast. There are so many things you can do in electronics. Even though right now we are facing certain limitations when it comes to electronic devices, materials, energy, and computation and all of that. I think that exactly because of these limitations, it's a good time to be in electronics, because there is so much potential for new things, to find solutions to these limitations. So it's going to be a period of paradigm shifts, I believe. So yeah, I think you should go for it. And izlediğiniz için teşekkür ederim. Byte and Byte Akademi'ye takipte kalın. Hoşça kalın.